Okay, we are back in business. I can see you, you can see me. Maybe I can't see you, but you get the idea. Okay, so what I have up here is that first recording I was talking about what we were doing for the beginning of the week. And then I put two videos on here, one an elementary classroom, and I want you to watch this little boy in the orange shirt, which I put right underneath here. And the toddler observation, I want you to watch this little boy with the blue shirt. So when we're looking at those students, what I want you to look at is everything. So do we want to see how are they interacting with each other? How are they interacting with the teacher? Do they follow directions? How is their attention span? I mean, I picked two very different observations here because one is not going to give you a lot of activity and one is going to be super, super active. And so what I want you to just do is just like kind of write down what do you observe, like everything you can think about with this child. Why is that important? Is because the more you know your students, the easier it is to help them. And sometimes that documentation that you're writing down is going to be needed for different reasons. So there'll be times when you have to write a documentation on a behavior, or there's going to be like psychologists that come and say, hey, have you seen little Johnny do this? And you're going to go back in your notes and say, okay, I saw him do this day, this day, this day. And once it's documented, then that becomes part of their study. So CPS could ask for it, principals could ask for it, school psychologists could ask for it, doctors and therapists could ask for it, parents could ask for it. So what they're wanting is like, how is your child, or how is their child, the child in question, interacting in school, and how are their mannerisms, how is their mental growth, their emotional growth, how are they in social situations. They want to know everything. So when we write up observations like this, we are literally going to be saying, I say that word too often, I'm so sorry. It very much means that you're going to write exactly what you saw. So when we write up documentation, which we'll be talking about on Thursday, we're going to keep all the I saws, I believe, I think out of it, just state the facts, and that's it. So, like I said, you don't have to watch the full two videos on this. Just give it a good couple minutes so you have an idea of what it is. And if you're interested, you can go back on this first video and maybe watch the student that's a little bit more engaged and see how the difference of those two students are. We never want to assume anything with our students, so we're just going to be stating the facts, the behaviors, and the information that you saw on our two students here. And then on Thursday, what we're going to be talking about is how do we take that information that we've observed from our students and document it in a legal form, so it can be used for, anybody who needs it, law enforcement, CPS, doctors, psychologists. Those are the main ones that ask for it. The last one I had to do was on a little girl, and her mom felt that she maybe needed some medication for ADHD. And so I started documenting all the things, and she asked me, there's like probably 30 different things we had to look for. And so this little girl, I wrote it all down. And in kindergarten, that's when I was teaching kindergarten, I'm very skeptical if we need to medicate students that young, just because is it a behavior thing? Is it a background thing? Is it an exposure thing? Is it a maturity thing? Any of those really don't, in my opinion, constitute medication. So I did exactly what the mom asked me to do. I documented everything. They took that documentation to the doctor, which also paired with the documentation they were doing at home and then at daycare. And this little girl was put on medication. And to my surprise and to my opinion, she was like a new student. It was an amazing change for her. So I can't advocate for a medication. I just know that sometimes you'll be put in that position where you need to document for different reasons. For that's kind of young for this age, but that's what I'm talking about. For like the older ones, like this little guy here, what the documentation might be used for would be, is he on grade level? Do we know that his math is on 3rd grade level? Well, let's observe him. Let's find out. Maybe he has a learning disability. Maybe he has needs an IEP or maybe special services, but we don't know until we have those things documented. And we'll go into lots of that on Thursday. So if you can, just watch the two videos, and then we will chat about those on Thursday. Thanks, guys.